question for you. Do you ever think back to when you were younger? Maybe you'd come home from school and immediately drop your bag and get into a game, your siblings, friends, or even family. Do you still do that now? Can you compare the feelings and experiences you had back then to what gaming and life is like today? It makes you wonder, how have the changes over the years in gaming shaped both my world and yours? So me personally, I had a strong passion for playing video games. Until this day, I still do. I remember back in the early 2010s, I played the classic games on my computer like Plants vs. Zombies, Super Mario Bros, and GTA San Andreas. And I especially enjoyed playing those games when my cousins would come over and we'd all be playing with my siblings. It was very fun at the time. My brothers would just magically come home and install a game onto their computer. Of course, me not knowing where it even came from. I was just like, hey, keep the games coming. And there were so many of them. Maybe you've heard of Mortal Kombat, Tekken, GTA Vice City, Subway Surfers, Temple Run, and the list just goes on and on. And you know, when I think about the time, about how much the immediate time gap has jumped. I mean, can I seriously compare 2010 and 2024? Come on, over 10 years has passed. Wow. And you know, the pixels, the resolution, the graphics, the FPS or the frames per second. Wow. I mean, I'm not a technical to know all the technological details, but gaming and all related to that has improved immensely. And I cannot stop emphasizing on how much time has passed because 10 years is not a small number. That's like a whole different developmental stage of life. You know, I feel old in some way to saying, hey, remember back then we played Super Mario Bros. What? Back then? Has that much time passed? I used to be 10 years old, and now I'm almost done with my teenagers. Wow, to look back at all of this time has really changed. And you know, now I have to think about my future, getting a job, no more being stress-free. But aside that, I won't imagine myself ever playing those games from the past because I've been exposed to some beautiful games made by intelligent people. Things are not the same anymore. And you know, all I feel is just the nostalgia. And you know, this nostalgia, it's crazy. It makes you feel happy yet sad at the same time. Knowing that things won't go back to the way they were. The joy that I had as a child playing those games, I know I had so much passion for them. And I think about it now, the passion that I have now, it's not as much. Like little kids, it's not as much. Well, anyways, the games of today have a higher resolution, high graphics, games are expensive, more money has to be spent in order to enjoy the experience. And now things have changed. People play online, people have PlayStations, Xboxes, Nintendo Switches, and PCs. Wow, let's get to that point. Which brings me back to 2017 when I got my first ever console, PS4. Back then I didn't even know what a PlayStation was. I wasn't exposed to such. I just heard people saying, oh, the PS4 is nice. My brother couldn't stop running his mouth to just how amazing it was. I just went with it to say, yeah, the PS4 is nice, I guess. I just thought it was some sort of arcade gaming device. The ones with the joysticks and the red buttons, I didn't even know what it was. I guess I didn't understand why people were so excited about it back then. And you know, little did I know that once I got on that PlayStation, it was going to be a whole life changer for me. The settings, the themes, the everything, it feels so magical for me. It was nothing compared to those boring, old, retro, degenerate computer games that I used to play. That console was the peak of my gaming experience that I've ever had in my life. Gosh, once I found the games that I loved the most on that very console, I played for hours and hours. which I do admit that was very unhealthy, but it was well worth the experience. Making friends, setting goals, achieving them, and having lots of laughs. And one of my favorite parts about gaming is being part of the gaming community. And it's very nice. And although back then there weren't that many females playing video games as there are today, I will admit there are much more, but as a gamer girl, I wish there were more females that could have interest in gaming. Like, for example, my friends list on Fortnite, there were just a few females that would get online, but then they still wouldn't get online as much. The rest were just males. Although I didn't see that as a problem, but one of the things I love is seeing males and females interacting in games. I like it when everyone is included. Everyone deserves to have fun. Wow, it's crazy. It went from, hey, I'm going to go outside and play with my friends to, hey, are you getting on Fortnite by 6 p.m.? Ah, yes, I'll be on by then. So, as you can see, there's so much more to come of all of this. Time and life itself has come such a long way. People don't just play on their smartphones, TVs, PlayStations, Xboxes, PCs. No, people can also play on planes, VR headsets, and cars. And I wonder how things diversify to this extent. And honestly, when I think at all these changes, when I look at them, I realize that things will never be the same. But isn't that the beauty of it? Gaming, like life, continues to evolve, shaping our memories and experiences in ways that we wouldn't have imagined a decade ago. So, as I stand here, I'm not just reminiscing about my childhood. I'm reflecting on the future, on the next great wave of innovation that's yet to come. I'm grateful to have grown up in a world where gaming was more than entertainment. It is connection, creativity, and a huge part of who I am today. So whether you're a gamer or not, I'm sure we can all relate to how technology has transformed the way we live and experience life today. Who knows what the next decade will hold for us? So let's embrace the future of technology and gaming with open minds and a sense of wonder. After all, the best part of any game is seeing what comes next. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.